What is going on, man? It is Saturday. I don't know what day y'all gonna watch this, but I'm making this on a Saturday. We're getting close to the end of school. That's important to me because I got 2 daughters in school, so we're about to go into summer break. But we're doing another installation of the Instagram Down the Rabbit Hole. I know I've been doing these pretty much exclusively. I like them though because we can cover a lot of different thoughts all in one video. You know, I'm trying to keep them 10 to 12 minutes because if you let me run my mouth, I will be here for a while. Anyway, I appreciate y'all checking it out. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell because I'm going to come out with at least 1 video a day. I'm going to try to do 2 because I feel like we need as much of this content available as possible. Anyway, Instagram, y'all know how it goes. If you don't know how it goes, I'm going to play this video and then I'm going to talk some shit about it.
You're going to look at that video and try to tell me that that is normal and completely okay for children to be around? We've said it before, we'll say it again. Why are you questioning why we are trying so hard to protect children from this kind of explicit content and not questioning why people are trying to
Oops. Anyway, that is from Gays Against Groomers. And they highlight a lot of this bullshit that's going on with our children in our schools, in our after-school programs that they're very conveniently not telling any of the parents about. But this is I guess, I don't know, I'm not sure. I won't even venture a guess. But I will just say that they are performing for our children, just in case you missed it. Hit that split.
We're going to look at that video and try to...
So anyway, that's Gays Against Groomers. That is their mission, to get this type of bullshit out of the purview of a child's curriculum in school or in any type of a setting. I don't get it. I don't know why. We're not sitting here pushing a bunch of heterosexual information down our children's throat about, well, this is how this and this and that. No, it's all this other. Listen, teach the kids what they need to learn to be proficient in the basic subjects, math, English, a little sprinkling, a little social studies, a little science, get some PE in there. But all this other nonsense, man, save that bullshit. Moving right along.
Because we live in a very weird world now, don't we, where absolutely everybody appears to be incredibly offended by everything. And it means that comedians can't operate anymore because every joke is offensive. The kind of radical, zealous nature of debate these days about whether it's veganism or gender fluidity or whatever it may be has also got completely out of hand, where people are not allowed to debate it. You're not allowed to have a conversation. If one tribe decides that you're wrong, you have to be cancelled, taken off the airways, you have to be destroyed, your lives ruined, because somebody...
Damn, I keep flipping out of these. I don't mean to do that. But he's right.
Because we live in a...
He's definitely right. We live in a world today where sensitivity is key. If you're not offended by something, if you're not overly sensitive about something, then you're really out of the norm because everybody is offended and just completely put off by everything that anybody does. Man, I can remember, and I don't want to sound like no old geezer here, but man, back in the day, when I say back in the day, I mean the 80s, the 90s, it was not like that. People did not give a shit. People did not give a fuck what you were offended by or not offended by. Like, come on, man. Kids are very soft today. Participation trophies, everything that is nonsense, man. We are watching the fabric of our society just unravel. Unravel. I was watching a documentary earlier today. I woke up to it. I don't even know how it got on my TV, but it was about, since Reagan and then back, the last 8 presidents, and how they were involved in World War II and the Korean War. And then George Bush, he used to fly fighter pilot missions, you know, and did I think 12 was the average before you were most people, most of the fighter pilots lasted an average of 12 missions. He had over 50, and his last one, he got shot down. They recovered him, but his other 2 crew members on the plane, they didn't get. But, just to hear the stories of these men who were, in the face of the battle and were faced with these things. Eisenhower, and how he was faced with the atrocities of the Holocaust, and how when they got into Germany he could see with his own eyes, and made sure he had the cameras coming in to document this bullshit. Like, there are these things that go on in societies that tear the fabric down, and some of them are very, in your face, and, very wrong, and this is crazy, and what's going on. But then there are some, like what's going on in America, that is just, they subtly jab it in there, and they put it in, they coat it with all this nice shit. Racism and homophobia and transphobia and blah, blah, blah. And they will make the average individual feel like they're wrong for having simple thoughts like, don't introduce this shit to our children. Don't make this generation and the next generation and the next generation be a bunch of soft children that can't handle the basics of life. I don't know why I got off on that tangent. But anyway, moving right along.
Here's why. There's 3 initiatives that are put down through the World Economic
Forum. Oh, this is important.
One is called CEI, one is called ESG, and one is called DEI. These initiatives are put down as social initiatives from the World Economic Forum, the most powerful people on the planet, through the banks to the big corporations. These corporations, unlike my business, actually depend on that financing 100%. So if they don't do the things that these 3 initiatives, the CEI, the ESG, and the DEI say, they actually lose their funding, so they can't operate their business. So you say, well, aren't these people smart enough to understand why they're destroying their business? They can't not do it. Because if they don't do it, they won't get their funding. So they can't operate. So they have no choice but to do it. And then they drive their business into the dirt. And here's why that's happening. Because the people who run these companies, the officers of the companies, are not the founders of the companies. These are people that are many generations removed and many degrees of caring about the actual brand removed. All right? So these people are college graduates who think they know a whole bunch of stuff because they have an advanced degree, and they are making decisions that are, basically about the money, and thinking that eventually people will adopt this and it will stop. But it's not going to stop, and it's not supposed to stop. This is what people are failing to realize. What's happening is we are dealing with a communist insurgency that is undermining the values and the identity of the American public. What they are doing is they are intentionally creating a scenario where the American people rejecting this initiative is actually hurting iconic American brands that remove much of the American identity. So when you name these companies off, all of these companies represent America when you think of them traditionally. So now they're removing part of the identity, which is part of the communist process called demoralization. If there's less identity in America, there's less to fight for, which makes it easier to conquer. All right. Then on top of it, one of the goals of communism is to create 2 classes of people, very poor and very rich. And so what they're doing here is they are getting the American public to cancel their own companies that actually hurts their own neighbors who are good, hardworking American people. Because the people at Bud Light at the top are not the ones feeling the pain here. It's the delivery drivers. It's the hardworking red, white, and blue Americans that believe the same motherfucking shit that you all believe, who are getting fired or laid off or losing because of this. So they have run an operation to push this initiative down through the companies intentionally, where the companies cannot resist it because they're required to do so for their funding, knowing that the American people are going to reject it and destroy these companies, creating the lower class system that they're trying to create in the first place. Here's why.
Listen, one of the things that may be a cop-out for me with these rabbit hole videos is that I'm finding the videos to where when I listen to them, they just resonate with me. They make me think, you know what? I couldn't have said that shit any better myself. And so this is one of those videos where he breaks it down and just continues to break it down and takes you down to the bare level of, the companies are forced to do it. This is the reason they're forced to do it. And on top of that, because this is the way that they're being pushed, it also is dissolving the American public's desire for this iconic brand, whatever that is, Bud Light, Budweiser, for an example. And so they are hitting facets with their plan to just destroy the fabric of our nation. It's crazy. It's crazy how they have these initiatives set up to where they do all of these multiple things while we just sit by and we think we're doing the right thing. Cancel Bud Light. How the hell are you going to put, a trans person on a Bud Light can, and the brand is this and this and that, and we think we're doing the right thing. And in theory, maybe we are. I don't know. That's the whole thing. You just don't know. You're doing what you think you're supposed to do to be supportive, to be patriotic, to be this and to be that. And on the flip side of that, they're using that whole scenario to continue to break down the fabric of our country. It's fucking crazy, man. Moving right along.
I'm so sick of the comments. I got to pull over. I got to talk to you about this. All right. Why do I care so much about the so-called trans movement? Why don't I just stop talking about it and it'll go away? Well, how long before it goes away? How long? How many children are going to be placed on puberty blockers or chemically castrated or surgically transformed during that period of time? How many women are going to be exploited? How many of their civil rights are going to be abolished while I sit silently? How many of their accomplishments, their dreams, how much of their hard work is going to be diminished by a biological male while we choose to ignore it and just keep our head in the sand hoping it goes away? How long do I remain silent while these activists upend all of human history and deny science? How many privileges are going to be revoked while I just sit down and shut up? Am I supposed to be quiet while some dude prances around pretending to be a woman making a mockery out of femininity? What am I supposed to say to my daughters? Nothing? That their femininity is pointless and without a purpose because any old guy can do it? Some hairy-chested queer with a 5 o'clock shadow can exaggerate every stereotype and say he's just as much of a woman as they are? So forgive me, no, if I don't sit down and shut up on this one, forgive me. No, in fact, I don't need your forgiveness, and I don't need your effing permission either. Does that make me transphobic or bigot because I speak out in defense of women? Hell, I would think that would make me man of the year in the pink pussy hat wearing parades that somehow suddenly disappeared. You know why they disappeared? Because activists never believe in the bullshit they're peddling. Same as this current trend. The actual person dealing with gender dysphoria is not an activist. They understand they have an illness. They don't want to parade it around. They want to feel normal, and they can't. The trans activists, they're the ones propagating the garbage that victimizes these people even further. So, no, I don't think I will remain silent.
Like I just said in the last video, maybe I'm copping out on these because I don't have to just exert huge amounts of thought. I'm just commenting on these obviously sound and solid videos, these little clips where different individuals from different walks of life, from different genders, from different sexual identities, how they're all just coming together with this common sense information. Of course they're not going to be quiet. Of course they're not going to remain silent. I have 2 daughters, 2 school-age daughters, and the reach of the trans community and how they can affect my daughters is immense. So, like Buddy over here, I don't know, he's Watch Dad. Like Buddy over here, Watch Dad, I'm not going to remain silent. We got the same color shirt on, so you know that shit's real. Moving right along.
The original standard for being transgender was being diagnosed with gender dysphoria, which is a legitimate condition. And now it's being, however way you feel. So if you feel on Tuesday you're a woman and on Thursday you're a pizza, that's perfectly valid.
She said
but to you,
pizza.
that's ridiculous. And I want to know why that is ridiculous. We should be talking about actual women on International Women's Day. That's not crazy.
I mean, I agree. But your idea of an actual woman...
the chromosomes.
It's an adult female. It's not
The
different.
chromosomes are a pretty good indication.
I don't think you have to be biologically female to identify.
Then you are wrong, because then I can identify as a fox. The original standard for being transgender...
Again, one of those videos where I'm just like, duh. Moving right along. We're getting long here. We have 14 minutes. We passed my outside 12-minute. Anyway, moving right along.
Are you going to revoke your American citizenship?
No, man, I'm very patriotic.
Okay.
America's a motherfucking goat. Anybody that's got a problem with that can suck my dick.
Thanks.
Scoreboard. Anybody that doesn't like America can look at the scoreboard. Do I like things that America does? No. Do I feel like America's a bully? Yes. Is it the best country to ever exist? Yes, it is. And it's up to Americans to come together and stop letting this country rot from within. Anybody that doesn't want to be an American, get the fuck out.
Are you going to revoke your American citizenship?
That's it. We want to end it right there. Anybody that don't like it, get the fuck out. I appreciate y'all watching. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. So like, subscribe, notification bell, all that different stuff. I'm trying to come at y'all every day. I appreciate you. Have a great night.